Like, they're like, why isn't this manifesting for me? Because you're not taking the leads. You're not listening to your intuition and your gut and the way you're feeling and actually following the divine guidance. Even though you might think it's silly to go get coffee at a coffee shop somewhere, you can meet the love of your life there. It's important to take action on these things. Like, certain things present themselves to you in perfect timing for a reason.
Hi guys!
Hello.
Welcome to Etta, Arlene Spiritcast. If you're new to this podcast, we talk about all things related to mindfulness, magic, astrology, tarot, meditation, the law of attraction, spirituality, anything in that realm. Today we are talking about active manifesting versus passive manifesting, or manifesting with divine feminine versus divine masculine, and so on. So before we start talking about all that stuff, I want to remind you guys that we sell candles. We handcraft them ourselves, and right now all of our fall candles are available. We make amazing fall candles. My favorite is the pumpkin, but we also have really fun ones like zombie. We have a witchy woman, which is one of my favorite as well. I like they all have silly warnings. The warning for witchy woman is I'm a magical bitch.
Because we are.
And and we also have other candles too besides fall scents. Just the fall scents are new they're re-released, for the fall. And so you want to tell them where they can find us.
So you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr. Now we're using our Facebook page. And on YouTube. And then we'd also like you to like or follow us, whatever you're listening to this on. And then we post Reiki-infused videos almost every single day to YouTube. So you can go there and subscribe and get some Reiki. We have playlists for different types of whatever you need, and you can just let those play and get some healing. And then we also send out free Reiki to everybody. Sign up to our email list on our website at edarlene.com. You can do that too. And then we have Reiki at the end of every single podcast episode, so stick around till the end for that.
Okay, well, I first heard about the differences between manifesting from several different people that I've heard speaking. I don't know, I've just been running across it, and before, so not that I fell off of like the law of attraction or anything like that, but I like expanded my like mindfulness or whatever practice, and I wasn't like staying hip on the times of the like there's like these law of attraction trends. I know like the cup methods and all these things, but or maybe I just wasn't meant to know about
quantum physics.
At all.
Yeah, that's quantum physics, man.
That was like popular with a lot of law of attraction
people.
gurus.
We should talk about the reality transurfing and the quantum leaping or quantum jumping. And that's like, I think it's where the 2-cup method falls into, is that quantum physics realm.
I think there's like overlap because I think there's overlap with that stuff because it's the whole idea of consciously like creating your reality, and some people say that you're that everything already exists, but whenever you're using like the law of attraction, that you're like sliding into the universe that has that thing that you're looking for, so you're jumping. So I guess we're like constantly jumping, and that's why I think a lot of the law of attraction gurus and stuff like that bring up the 2-cup method, and they end up getting involved with like the quantum like jumping and all that stuff, because they might subscribe to that idea that everything is existing, everything that you want is already here. It's just which trajectory, which timeline are you getting on. Mm-hmm. So you'll hear a lot of people talk about like switching their timelines. And all of this stuff, there's like different variations and different references and different wording for it. So, if it sounds different for you, how we're explaining things, then you might have just heard it from somebody else or learned it from someone else that differs from who we learned it from. But yeah, so anyways, I started hearing, I guess I was like kind of familiar with the idea of like the law of action, all that stuff, but like the idea of there's different ways of manifesting things, and one involves a more aggressive energy, or a more like, I don't want to say aggressive, but a more pronounced like, this is what I'm getting, this is where I'm going, versus a more a energy that's more what the universe wants for me, what is best for me, what's in alignment with my life as it is. So yeah, we have a couple ads and then we'll get into it.
Yep, and we want to remind everybody to vote. If you are in America, elections are coming up. If you're doing a mail-in ballot, please mail it in as soon as possible. That way it gets counted, hopefully. And be safe. Go to the polls. Don't forget. Thank you.
Here's a quick note from one of our sponsors, and then we'll get into today's awesome episode. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me give you a rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Here's how it works.
Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today.
Then you can distribute your podcasts on those popular listening platforms, including Spotify, with a single tap. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify.
With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, we are back. So, like I said earlier, we're discussing passive manifesting and active manifesting. And what I understand with it, your passive manifesting is whenever you are doing, let's say you are wanting to draw in love into your life. It's very non-specific, but the energy is powerful for the intention of what you're drawing in, and you may or may not have a timeline. Usually it's one of those manifestations that is in alignment with my highest good only, according to divine will, that type of manifesting. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're involved in Reiki, there's a lot of, so Chris Penzak has a book about magic and Reiki. And if you're familiar with Reiki, there is a very magical, it's a very magical experience, and you can use it for your rituals and things like that. And one of the things that he talks about with Reiki is that we as practitioners often leave it up to the wisdom of Reiki for our manifesting, and we don't really give it set timelines. So if I'm healing something in regards, let's say I'm trying to manifest money into my life, or I'm healing some sort of money blocks, I'm letting the wisdom of Reiki heal whatever is preventing me from seeing that potential of abundance. And then I'm using the Reiki and the ritual very fluid, very whatever is for my highest good only. And I'm not telling it specifically how much, or it's more of even if I was, it would be more of I would like to open myself up to receiving $1,000, and only if it's according to divine will and according to Reiki. I don't know, everybody does Reiki differently, but it's going to be we're trusting a higher guidance. So it's going to be a very a passive almost. Not that you're not manifesting, but you're very I just want to draw in this into my life, and I want to draw it in however it best serves me. And then if you're doing the law of attraction, you're going to be constantly thinking about, back to the love reference, I am loved. Love comes to me, love finds me. You're just constantly thinking those, positive thoughts, but you're not giving it deadlines, and then you're not necessarily taking massive, I don't know how to describe it. So you're going to need massive action with the law of attraction regardless. You're going to have to take steps. You're going to want to follow, they call it following leads. So that's whenever you have divine guidance come through in certain ways. Those are gut feelings or synchronicities or things like that. And then when you're acting on them, it's getting you closer to that manifestation. So if you're drawing in love into your life, you might have a lead where it's get your coffee at that Starbucks. So then you do that, then you don't normally go there, and you do that, and then you end up meeting somebody, meeting the love of your life. So you're just very open to whatever the universe is providing. That's how like the passive manifesting kind of works. So you're just kind of like putting out into the universe what you want. And again, it's more open to like your highest good, that type of thing. And there are magical practices that involve that style of manifesting. And it's just going to be for like your general life, like well-being, things that you want to see. So a lot of people will say you have to manifest and be extremely specific. And we're not saying you're not being specific when you're doing this passive manifesting, because you are setting intentions of the energy you want your life to have and you want it to be. You want it to be filled with love. You want it to be filled with happiness, and you're embodying that. You want to have a certain, a job a certain way that, that fits you. You want to align with your highest soul purpose. It's kind of like the bigger picture manifesting in a way.
Yeah, it's bigger picture manifesting, and you're not getting fixated on the exact outcome. Like, it doesn't have to be specifically, let's just say, like, you want a new car, and you want it to be nice, and have all the, like, the things that you want it to have, like, all the accommodations, but you don't really care about the color. So,
or like the make and model.
Or the make and model.
Yeah. Or like the year. You just want it to have everything that you need that would be for your best good. Like the perfect car for you, and you're open to whatever that car will be.
Yeah. So that's like a good example.
Mm-hmm.
But not fixating on the concrete, like this is how it has to be, or I don't,
mm-hmm.
or it's not it. So like, let's say you want to manifest money. So you want to manifest $1,000, but you're open to more. So you might receive like $899. So that's what the universe thought you wanted, like you required for that time. Not 1,000, not the million, but you get like what you need.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I would say that is exactly what it's like. Whatever is going to be for your highest good, and you're not attached to the outcomes. You're not attached to the minute details. You're attached to whatever is in alignment with the best possible outcome, the best possible like purpose, like for your soul purpose. Because sometimes we manifest things that may not be or for our highest good. So whenever you're doing this more passive manifesting, it's with the intention that it's like for your highest good. It's what's meant for me. What's mine is mine. There's the law
of substitution.
Substitution, yeah, that's
it.
That
ties into the Florence Scovel Shinn's law of substitution. It's like, I want this or better.
Mm-hmm.
Like love, like you said, love. Like, I want to manifest a partner that embodies all these qualities if it's for my highest good.
Yeah.
If it's meant for me. I'm calling in what's divinely mine.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to usurp someone else's like relationship or something like that.
Yeah, so it would be like you said, so you're not trying to manifest a specific person, individual to love you, or you're not trying to manifest a specific job. You're manifesting that job that is in alignment with your highest soul purpose. And that's one of my like favorite ways of doing manifesting, is having like what is mine, what is for my highest good. And that's probably why I like the Game of Life and how to play it, because a lot of her manifesting revolves around letting go, kind of like releasing to the universe to kind of work things out, and being very open to the best possible, outcome in alignment with what the universe feels is best for you. And you're not giving your power away doing anything like that. What you're doing is trying to get into alignment with like a better timeline, or a I don't know how.
I think it helps you to release and let go of your manifestations. It helps you to trust. It's letting you trust the universe and trust that everything that you need is always going to be met perfectly, because that's, we're just in this form. There's other energies at work that are working on your behalf at all times. But I think it for the way we operate, like it helps me to let go and trust and believe that that's going to manifest for me.
Yeah, like one of the things she says in the book is she will say, like there's a topic about like business and stuff like that, and she says to just constantly affirm like God is my supply, or you could say the universe is my supply.
Yeah, source, God, whatever.
Whatever word you want to use, but you say they're your supply whenever you're like, okay, this is what I want to see in my life, and I'm trusting that it's going to happen, and God is my supply, and you just kind of like let it work its way out. And you're still taking actions towards that. Like, you're still following leads and things like that, but you're just more fluid with it, I would say.
I feel like that's part of it. Like, people don't take, like, they're like, why isn't this manifesting for me? Because you're not taking the leads. You're not listening to your intuition and your gut and the way you're feeling and actually following the divine guidance, even though you might think it's silly to go get coffee at a coffee shop somewhere. Like you said earlier, like, you can meet the love of your life there. Yeah. Like, it's important to take action on these things. Like, certain things present themselves to you in perfect timing for a reason.
Yeah, so if you're asking for something and then, like, you start to get, like, a lead in some way, it would be best to not necessarily question it and not let your ego get in the way and probably, like, act on it. So, like, if you're like, oh, I want the perfect crystal to help me sleep, and then you stumble upon a crystal that you didn't think would be, like, I don't know, you stumble upon a obsidian or something, and you're like, oh, I thought this was for protection. Well, maybe you need that to help protect your sleep. And then if you start questioning why you have it, you'll end up blocking that manifestation of, oh, I wish I had slept better. You know what I mean? There's lots of references to that, like, of people who don't follow leads. And there's different things you can ask for confirmation for things too. Like, you can ask the universe, like, a popular one is asking for a feather, to see, like, a visual of a feather for yes, like, if you had, like, a question in your head or whatever.
Or just ask, like, give me clear evidence or proof that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and then let it be open, like you said, the feather, or let it just be open to something that you will know, like, this is me, like seeing an owl, or if you keep on seeing the number, like 1111 or something like that. Trust the synchronicities that you're seeing. Those are all leads.
Yeah. So this type of manifesting is definitely involving you being in flow with and connecting with, like, divine guidance and your inner, like, your core, like your heart, like a very heart-based, manifesting. And it is associated with the divine feminine. And it's probably because of those aspects of connecting to that, like, spiritual self. And, when you hear people talk about law of attraction, you'll hear, like, contrasting opinions about it. And I think that sometimes that contrasting is because there are a variety of ways to manifest things. And you might have somebody who's very much an active manifester versus somebody who's very, like, fluid, like, I want the best, all in alignment with me, like, manifesting and putting their energy in that way. And then they end up, there's just different ways of teaching it and different perspectives, and what works for some people might not work for others. Like, some people might like the passive manifesting better because it allows them to detach from outcome, because one of the big things that prevents manifesting is the attachment to outcome. So if you're a passive manifester, you're probably going to have an easier time of just kind of letting go, because you're just letting that trust go to the higher power. Again, you're still taking action, you're just kind of allowing versus active manifesting. It's going to take a little bit more effort for you to trust, because you're being very specific about the details. And this is whenever you get into, like, people, teachers who will say things like, if you're trying to manifest money, manifest the exact amount you need, and they might tell you to say why you need it. Some people believe you should tell the universe, like, what it's for. I know, like, if you were using, like, certain magical practices, you're going to tell the universe why you need it. And then they're going to put a deadline on it. So there's a lot of, like, experiments on YouTube and stuff like that where they'll say, manifest $100 in 2 days or in 24 hours and stuff like that. So that's...
You know what? It's that book, the E Squared.
Yeah.
E Squared does that. That's cool, but that's, like, she's utilizing a lot of, like, the quantum physics in that, right?
Yeah, I think they use her... There's, like, people do courses on that book.
Yeah, so E Squared's a good one if you are interested in, like, testing things out, like this active manifesting. And then The Secret also references a lot, like, print the check out and put the check in your, where you can see it every day, and put the deadline. Either one of these manifesting tools work, whatever you choose, what works best for you, because everything's always going to play out the way it's meant to.
Yeah, and so, like, a more active manifestor is going to fall in with, like, the law of action, and they're going to, like, really specifically, like, this is what I want, and then they're going to start embodying that and living and acting as if. So you'll act as if with passive manifesting, But with active, it's like a more aggressively like, this is what I'm doing. And this is a type of manifesting where you'll have like a lot of vision boards. You're going to have like the affirmation lists, very specific affirmation lists. So instead of like, I am abundant in all, you're going to have, I attract money by tomorrow or whatever. You're gonna have like very
I make $100,000 a year.
A year, yes, yeah, that's a perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Or I am living in my dream home in California with the perfect beach setting with white walls and minimalistic interior.
Yeah, it's very specific.
It's very specific.
And that's where like you're gonna have, like we said before, like the vision boards, and that's when you're gonna do the journaling with like my ideal day, like the acting as if, because you're applying that energy. And then even more on that, you're going to take massive action where it is very much geared toward like, okay, I want to make $100,000 a year. Well, how am I going to make $100,000 a year? Universe, show me what I need to do. And then you're going to start acting on it, like not just like, oh, I want to be this by the end of the year. Like a passive manifestor is might not even say by the end of the year. They're just going to be like, I would like to have an income of
at the perfect time
where I'm completely sustained off of, blah, 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 where a more active manifestor is going to do what you said, $100,000 by the end of the year.
See, that's what most of the gurus and stuff on the internet say to do, is this active manifesting. And then when things don't manifest, like come into fruition in the time frame, it discourages you from pursuing it. But then there's other things at play, like I mentioned in the last episode, like there's divine timing in play. It wasn't meant for you.
Yeah.
There's many reasons why things don't manifest. Like you're meant to manifest more and better, and that's why we like to do the passive, because it's like this or better. Like you're just calling it in. You're not specifically asking. Cause like let's just say, like I said earlier, like $100,000 a year. But what if you were meant to manifest $1 million a year, or 60,000, or whatever? And if you're fixated on that 100,000 and all you make is 60,000, then you're gonna think that's crap, and then you're just backsliding.
Yeah, and like you have to be very careful with the act of manifesting, because when you are so fixated on the outcome, it will definitely stop that manifesting. So you have to be able to tell yourself that it's okay if it doesn't work out, because that's not what was meant for me. Even though you are very specific on what you want, you have to be able to like kind of draw that line where you're still open to an outcome that is not what you expected. And you have to be able to see when things manifest, even if it's not exactly what you had in mind, it might still manifest in a specific way somehow. And it's very hard to understand and see those manifestations whenever you're so fixated on what you want, or you'll end up attracting something that might not necessarily be for your highest good, and then have to kind of do the process over again. I mean, there's perks to all of it. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have that, like, really that push and that drive. And then some people like to manifest using a combo of both. So, like, the pro to doing a passive manifesting is going to be that you are going to be manifesting things that are in alignment with you, that are for your highest good. You will not harm anyone in the process. This isn't like you're not going to, you're not going to take away from anyone in any way. You're not going to harm yourself in any way. You're not going to like draw in experiences that are not for your highest good or your highest purpose. Now, the cons might be that you won't manifest in the time frame that you would like to manifest in, because it's not meant for you at that moment. So it's going to be hard to remember. You have to like remind yourself that this is not when I'm supposed to have it. I'm going to get it when I'm supposed to. And because when we start getting fixated, you start to derail that energy, because you start to go into a lack mentality. And then another con is that like if you're not consciously like specific enough, it's gonna really leave it open to like anything. So you still have to like have a general like knowing of what you like. You want a beautiful home that is in the ideal location where you are meant to be, that kind of thing. And then if you do know where you want to live, you can probably throw that in there whenever you're manifesting. And vision boards and stuff still work for it. It's just,
all this stuff works. It's just what you believe.
How you like present it. And then the pros to an active manifestor is that things might manifest faster, for one, and then specific. So you might be able to manifest specific things that you really like, really, really want. But the cons are that it might be harder depending on who you are to have those things manifest. It's easier to lose sight of where you're going. It's easier to disconnect from the spirit of it all. And it's much easier to lower your vibration because things aren't manifesting exactly how you want. Like you didn't get the red car, you got a blue car, and you're like, oh, it doesn't work, but you still got you still got a car, that kind of thing. And then that's where there's a lot of different teachers with law of attraction. They start teaching these different methods and saying it's the end all be all. So if you're just getting into it, you're like, I don't know what to do because this teacher's saying to be specific and this teacher's telling me not to.
It's like a lot of people do ask, believe, receive. Yeah. So if you can believe that you are going to receive that $100,000 in a month, then that it's going to work. But if you don't truly believe that you can, then it might, it won't. It might not. It may or may not. Who knows? But that's why we prefer the passive manifesting. But you have to do what works for you. Nothing too, like when people get into the law of attraction, like we did it too. Like just bought a ton of books, tons. Yeah. Like sometimes it's best to just choose one and focus on that for a while. Choose a book that resonates with you, and then just really study it and apply the principles that they outline instead of pulling all this information from all these different teachers, whether like YouTube gurus or teachers. It's not. It's best to just choose one and focus on that for a time frame until you master it, because you can get all these, like you said, counteractive approaches out of it. So you have these different. Some people will tell you, like you said earlier, like to do the gratitude list every day. Be super, super, super specific, like incredibly specific.
At time frames.
And add time frames. And look at the vision board every day. Like create this ritualistic approach to it versus like envisioning what you want, like perfect home, a loving relationship, and letting it be open to it. But it's whatever you can get your belief behind, because it's very important to believe that it can happen for you.
You have to like be able to feel it. So like if you if you're going to do a more active manifesting approach, you're going to want to make sure that you're actually truly feeling. That's probably why some of these teachers who say to do those lists and stuff every day and they seem more aggressive is because it is really trying to get you to like feel it and really drill it. And that's the only way you're going to be able to like feel it. And the potential of having that stuff backfire is a lot easier because you're going to have like, what if you're using affirmations that are not resonating with you? Like there's a lot of different factors that can come into play, but I definitely agree with you. I think that pick a law of attraction book, or maybe like to read it, and if it resonates, that's what you go all in on. And then if it doesn't, try a different law of attraction book versus buying like a whole bunch of them and then trying to like all of a sudden you're having like one teacher tell you, like you were saying, that you have to do a gratitude list every day, and then another teacher's telling you to do super long affirmations, and then another teacher's like, no, you have to use short affirmations because that's the only way you know. And then all these people are just going off of their experiences, so your experience is going to be a lot different or the similar than theirs, but you have to make sure that you're tailoring your manifesting around what resonates with you and how you operate and understand and feel things.
And what you believe to be possible.
Yeah.
If you believe it's possible for you to get that red Corvette tomorrow, then it will manifest into your reality. But if you don't believe that's possible, then it won't. This is all about belief and trusting that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's something that like, it takes time. Sometimes it takes time. Some people can just like apply these principles, like law, like the, the action, the more active manifesting, and then just, really thrive off of that method. But you have to choose what fits and works with you, because we're all different, and we all have different like beliefs what we can achieve in our reality and what's possible for us.
So it's kind of like figuring out a method that resonates with you and understanding that there's more than one way to manifest, and there's probably more than just active passive. This is just like how we understand it to be.
There's tons of techniques, but it's like you said, you have to choose what resonates with you and give it a whirl and see what works best for you, and know that things, at the end of the day, things are going to manifest when they're meant to. The universe does not work in our time structures that we operate out of. So if you are putting the intention out there that you want to be a millionaire, it can manifest in a year, it can manifest in 10 years. Things happen a certain way for a reason, and things will manifest into reality when it's meant to. Period. Like that's my opinion. Yeah. That's like, proof is just the way our life has gone so far. But like, so you're always going to get what you need when you need it. I don't know. Well, that's not even related to law of attraction. That's just the damn belief.
Yeah. It's just, For me, I like the law of attraction. Like, I feel like sometimes it becomes like a sales pitch, like a motivational sales pitch, and you have like people yelling at you, and they're like, "Live your life. I'm gonna teach you how to be rich. You're gonna be rich as fuck doing this." You know what I mean? And
you're gonna get rich like me.
Yeah, like I'm making money off of you wanting to make money, but I don't know. But I feel like sometimes it's like there's a spiritual aspect to it, and there is a component of it that involves you allowing for things to happen and allowing for inner guidance and that type of thing to come to play, and figuring out methods that work for you and understanding that they are not all set in stone, and then being able to really tap into that like energy. And because there's like things that can affect your manifestations are the vibration that you're at, because your vibration is going to attract in, like attracts like.
Yeah.
So you can be saying all the affirmations you want and be projecting whatever, but if you don't feel good, you're not feeling, like how would you feel if that thing manifests? If you're not feeling that way, it's going to be a much slower process. Or you might even get the opposite, depending on the type of energy that you're cultivating. So if you think that everything nothing is going to work out in your favor, of course you're not going to be able to manifest anything, because you're vibrating at a frequency that says nothing works for me. Mm-hmm. And that's like healing those belief systems. That's where healing and stuff comes into play. And then there's also, there's divine timing that comes into play. And then if something's not meant for you, it's not meant for you, which is fine.
Karmic cycles.
Yes.
Soul contracts. Mm-hmm. There's way more at play than just this, like what you want to pull into your reality. Like there's other things that can block it, not from manifesting, that is higher than just, oh, I thought a bad thought, or I don't. There's more at play.
Yeah.
And that's something it didn't mess me up, but it's like from all of our learning and teaching and stuff that we've been getting over the past couple years. That's something that that had to wrap my head around, like, but things always manifest when they're meant to.
Yeah. And then for me, I really resonate for my manifesting with the idea of feeling and the importance of like my vibration and my feelings towards things. Because if you are in a lack scarcity mindset, a very fear-based, worry-based mindset, it's going to affect your manifesting. So you're going to want to learn how to be present and stay grounded. And that way you can take more control of that future, because you ultimately decide your future. And if you're stuck in loops, or you're stuck in an energy that's a very a lower energy, it's going to be very hard to manifest something higher that you want. So it's involves working on meditating to get grounded. It's going to involve maybe fixing your energy, but figuring out what needs healed so that you can vibrate higher.
Figuring out what needs to go.
Yeah. And another, we mentioned this in a different episode, but a sign that you need healing can be, look at the parts of your life where you have a harder time manifesting things. So we use the example that some people are really good at manifesting wealth, but they're not good with their love life. Or some people have a very good, say, romantic life, but they have a hard time manifesting friends. So whenever you have those instances, there might be some sort of healing that needs done with the belief systems around that. Or there might be some sort of karmic pattern that needs worked out. Ancestral healing. There might be something there that needs to be worked on so that you can manifest. It's not if I sit here and I write all this, it's just gonna shake its way out. No, it's that, I need to go in and do the work. I need to go in and do the shadow healing that might be present. I need to clear blocks. I need to figure out my thought processes. What do I think about this? So of course you're not going to be able to make friends if you think that your friends are all betray you, but that might be a core belief you have from a life experience that you don't even realize that you have. So the law of attraction can be used to help figure out what needs healing and worked on and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a tip of the drawer.
Yeah.
It's another lead. It's a lead to figure out what you need to heal in your life and release and let go and reprogram. There's so much stuff that people hold on to from just even things that you think are insignificant that you could still be holding on to from childhood. Stuff like that, or you're stuck in the same cycle, or if you, it's just a starting, it's just, affirmations, like you said earlier, the affirmations, if an affirmation about money makes you upset, then there's something that needs healed with your beliefs around that money.
Yeah, so, So it's not like a one and done or something. You definitely have to feel it out and figure out what works for manifesting to understand why things won't work, and then figure out a way of manifesting that helps you, and understand the like spiritual component to it and the benefits of having a meditation practice, a visualizing practice, or healing or journaling where you're writing things down, like analyzing how you feel when you use certain affirmations to know if they're working for you or not just keep saying affirmations over and over again that are not helping because they're triggering something within you. Like there's like little things like that you can do to help like tweak it. But that's just it. That's how it is. You've gotta
works.
Search it.
It really works. It does work. It does that 100% works. But I think it's you do whatever method you can put your belief and trust that it's going to manifest for you. Mm-hmm. Ask, believe, receive. Period.
All right. So at the end we have Reiki. If you want to keep listening, the music's going to change, and then don't drive because it might make you sleepy. And yeah, that's it. All right.
Thank you for listening.